Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to my channel English with Shelley. In this video we are going to cover grammar part of chapter number 5, Amazing Animals. Page number 82, adjectives, comparative and superlative. So let's start with short description of adjectives. So adjectives are the words that describe noun. So to understand it, we have to revise noun. So what is noun? Noun is a words that contain a name of a person, place, thing, or idea. So what are adjectives? So adjectives are the words that describe noun. For example, in case of Qaid-e-Azam, what are the things and qualities that you think about Qaid-e-Azam? So Qaid-e-Azam was a good person and Qaid-e-Azam was a best leader. Here the word good and best are the things that describe Qaid-e-Azam as a person. So the words that describe noun or a person, those words are called adjective. So the word good and best are adjective. Let's take another example. In case of Faisal Mosque, what are the things that you think about the Faisal Mosque? So if we say Faisal Mosque is a beautiful place and Faisal Mosque is built of white marble, so here the words beautiful and white are the things that describe Faisal Mosque as a place. So those words are adjectives. So the word that describe noun, those words are called adjectives. Also the pronoun and noun are technically same. They are just replacement for noun. So pronoun are the words that are used in place of noun. So for example, if we say Ali wake up early in the morning, Ali ate breakfast, and then Ali go to school. So here we taking name again and again. Its look and sound odd. So we use pronoun instead of noun. In first sentence we use noun, but in other sentences we use pronoun instead of a noun. Like Ali wake up early in the morning and he eat breakfast and he go to school. So here the word he is used in a place of Ali. So this word he is a pronoun. So pronoun are the words that used instead of a noun that are called pronoun. So the definition of adjective is those words that describe noun and pronoun. Those words are called adjectives. And there are 3 degrees of adjective. First one is positive degree. Second one is comparative, and then third one is superlative. So why do we need degrees of adjective? Because when we have to compare 2 things or more than 2 things, so we need degrees of adjectives. So the positive degree of adjective, it is used to describe noun and pronoun. It is not used to compare anything. So the positive degree just describe noun and pronoun. It is not used for comparison. Next degree is comparative degree. So the comparative degree of adjective is used to compare 2 things or 2 persons. In comparative degree, we only compare 2 things and 2 persons. In third degree, superlative degree, it is used to compare more than 2 things or 2 persons. So first degree is used to describe thing, second degree is used to make comparison between 2 things and 2 persons, and third degree is used to compare more than 2 things and more than 2 persons. So we use these degrees of comparison. For example, Ali is a tall boy. So here tall is an adjective. It just describing the Ali. So we are not comparing Ali with an other person. So it is a positive degree of adjective. Next one is Asad is taller than Ali. Here the word taller is also adjective, but this is the comparative degree of adjective because here we are comparing the height of Ali with the height of Asad. That's why the word taller is a comparative degree of adjective. Last sentence is Saad is tallest among all. Here the word tallest is also an adjective, but in this we are comparing 3 persons, so the word tallest is the superlative degree of adjective. So when we make a comparison, so we use degrees of adjective, and for making comparative and superlative degree, we add ER and EST at the end of positive degree. So when we have to make a comparative degree or superlative degree of adjective, we just add ER at the end when we make comparative degree or EST at the end when we have to make superlative degree. We also use more and most. So more is used when we make comparative degree and most is used when we make superlative degree. For example, if we say beautiful, so beautiful is a positive degree of adjective. If we have to make it comparative, so we say more beautiful. And if we have to make superlative degree of beautiful, so we add most. most beautiful. Similarly, if we say tall, taller, tallest. So for making comparative degree we add er. For making superlative we add est at the end of the positive degree. So here is adjectives, comparative and superlative. When we compare nouns, we often use comparative and superlative adjectives. Big, bigger and biggest. Then we add er or more to make the comparative. So when we have to make comparative degree of adjective, so we add er or more with the positive degree of adjective and est or most to make the superlative. So when we have to make a superlative degree of adjective, so we add est or most with the word or with the adjective. Language tip: be careful. Although we usually just add er or est, the spelling sometimes change a bit. For example, noisy, noisier and noisiest. So here the word noisy has a letter y at the end. So when we have to make comparative or superlative degree, so we remove the y and use I here. So sometimes when we make superlative or comparative degree, so a little bit changes in spelling happens. Exercise A. Sort these words and phrases into adjectives, comparatives and superlatives. So here they gives words. We have to identify which word is adjective, which word is superlative degree and which word is comparative degree. The first word is red. So red is a positive degree or simple adjective. Second word is sleepest. est. So est is the identification of superlative degree. So this is superlative degree. Next word is more beautiful. So we use more when we have to make comparative degree. So this is comparative degree of adjective. Fourth one is laziest. So this is superlative adjective. Then quicker. This is comparative adjective. Last one is old. So this is simple adjective. Exercise B. Which words are missing? So here they give the column of adjective, comparative and superlative degrees. So we have to write missing letters here. First one is large, larger. So here the superlative degree of large is largest. Busy, busier, busiest. Dark, darker, darkest. Comfortable, more comfortable, most comfortable. Gentler. So the adjective of gentler is gentle and the superlative degree of adjective is gentlest. Exercise C. Write a sentence for each of the missing words above. So you have to write a sentences of missing letters. So here are the sentences. Now move to the next page, page number 83. Adjectives intensity. So what is adjectives of intensity? So adjectives of intensity are the words that strengthen or weaken the meaning of another adjective or they shows how strong and how weak something is. जिसे हम बोलते हैं शिद्दत. किसी भी चीज़ की अगर हमने इंटेंसिटी बतानी हो तो उसे हम क्या कहेंगे? एडजेक्टिव ऑफ इंटेंसिटी. सो डिग्रीज ऑफ एडजेक्टिव्स में हम क्या करते हैं कि हम कंपैरिजन करते हैं टू थिंग्स का और टू पर्सन्स का. बट एडजेक्टिव्स ऑफ इंटेंसिटी हम यूज करते हैं अगर हमने किसी भी चीज की जो है वो इंटेंसिटी बतानी हो, वीकनेस या फिर स्ट्रांगनेस पार्ट बताना होता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ वी से द वेदर इज कोल्ड, कि मौसम ठंडा है. तो हाउ मच कोल्ड, कितना ठंडा है. यहाँ पे अब हम वेदर को किसी और डे के वेदर से कंपैरिजन नहीं करेंगे, लेकिन हमने सिर्फ जो है वो उसकी इंटेंसिटी बतानी होती है. तो हम कहते हैं द वेदर इज एक्सट्रीमली कोल्ड. सो हियर द वर्ड एक्सट्रीमली इज एडजेक्टिव्स ऑफ इंटेंसिटी. So let's read out using adjectives that show different amount of intensity, strength. So जब हमने किसी भी चीज की strength दिखानी होती है तो हम adjective of intensity यूज करते हैं. Can make or writing more accurate and interesting. So this can make or writing more accurate and interesting. Adding the suffix ish to an adjective make it less intense. जब भी हम किसी simple adjective के साथ ish के word का जो है वो addition करते हैं तो वो जो है वो इस adjective word को जो less intense बना देती है. For example, she had a smallish cake. So here we add ish and make the word smallish. We can also say that she had a small cake, but we have to intensify that how much small the cake is, so we use smallish. We are not comparing it with another cake. We are just describing that how much small is the cake, so we use the word smallish. So the adjectives of intensity answers the question how much, how strong, to what extent the thing is small or large or strong or weak. We can use a different adjective to make something seem more intense. So ISH के एडिशन के अलावा हम डिफरेंट एडजेक्टिव्स को भी यूज कर सकते हैं किसी भी चीज के इंटेंसिटी दिखाने के लिए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, शी हैड अ बिग केक. सो हियर द वर्ड बिग इज ऑल्सो एडजेक्टिव, एंड इन सेकंड एग्जाम्पल, शी हैड अ ह्यूज केक. सो हियर द वर्ड ह्यूज इज ऑल्सो एन एडजेक्टिव, बट huge intensify that how much big is the cake. That is what adjective of intensity. So the difference between adjective of intensity and degrees of adjective is the intensity of adjective shows strength or extent of any adjective, but degrees of adjective shows comparison between things or person. Now move to the exercise. Exercise A. Look at these sentences. Think of more intense adjectives to fill in the space. So sentence number 1 is the baby monkey was small. The baby monkey was. So here you have to write an intense adjective. So here we can use the monkey was tiny. Second one is the boy felt sad. So the boy felt heartbroken. Next sentence is the mouse was frightened. The mouse was terrified. Exercise B. Put these adjectives in order of intensity starting with coldest. सो यहाँ पे जो है वो आपको डिफरेंट वर्ड्स दिए गए हैं और आपने कोल्डेस्ट से जो है वो हॉटेस्ट की तरफ जाना है. सो फर्स्ट वर्ड इज स्क्रॉचिंग, वार्मिश, माइल्ड, कोल्ड, फ्रीजिंग, हॉट. सो द ऑर्डर इज फ्रीजिंग, कोल्ड, माइल्ड, warmish, hot, scorching. Exercise C. Think of some more adjectives that describe temperature. Where would they fit in your list? Can you include some similes? Example, as hot as a burning fire. So here are the list. Now move to the next page, page number 86, indirect speech. So let's have a look on direct and indirect speech, and we commonly say it narration. So what is narration? So it is the act of representing the words of speaker. That is how you are representing the way a person has spoken. कि अगर किसी शख्स ने कोई बात की है तो आप उस बात को किस वे में जो है वो दूसरे शख्स को रिप्रेजेंट करेंगे. So there are two main ways of representing the words of speaker. First one is direct speech and the second one is indirect speech. What is direct speech? So the actual words of speaker are quoted as it is without any change. That is called direct speech. अगर आप किसी भी शख्स या किसी भी पर्सन की जो बात है कोई भी वर्ड चेंज किए बगैर जो है वो ट्रांसफर करते हैं तो उसे हम डायरेक्ट स्पीच कहेंगे. द एग्जैक्ट वर्ड्स ऑफ द स्पीकर आर क्लोज्ड इन इन्वर्टेड कॉमास और अ स्पीच मार्क. सो इस तरह डायरेक्ट स्पीच में जब आप किसी के वर्ड्स को एग्जैक्टली उसी तरह जो है वो ट्रांसफर करते हैं तो वो जो वर्ड्स या वो जो सेंटेंस होता है उस सेंटेंस को हम इन्वर्टेड कॉमास और स्पीच मार्क में लिखते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, Ali was studying when his friend Saad came. Then Saad asked from Ali that what are you doing? So Ali replied, I am studying. Now if Ali want to tell this to another person, so he can say, Ali said, I am studying. So this is the direct speech. Here you can see the speech mark around the sentence and there is no change in the sentence. Now look at what is indirect speech. Here the actual words of the speaker are transformed and said or written in a simple language. सो इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच में हम जो है वो जो वर्ड्स बोले गए होते हैं उन्हें सिंपल लैंग्वेज में कन्वर्ट कर देते हैं और इंफॉर्मेशन को ट्रांसफॉर्म कर देते हैं. सो लेट्स लुक एट द एग्जांपल दैट इन डायरेक्ट स्पीच वी यूज द वर्ड एज इट इज. नाउ कन्वर्ट इट इनटू इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच एंड इट बिकम Ali said that he was studying. So what are the changes you identify here? So first change is removal of inverted commas or the removal of speech marks. Second change is the change of tense and the third change is the use of conjunction that. So in direct speech we exactly copy the words of the speaker, but in direct speech we transform that words or that saying into simple language. So let's start the reading. Direct speech. Direct speech uses the exact words someone says and include them in speech mark. For example, I am going out, said Mark. So in direct speech we use the exact same word as the person says, and in indirect speech gives the same information without quoting the speaker. In direct speech we are not quoting the speaker and we are not write it in a speech mark. We just simply write it like Mark said he was going out. दोनों स्पीच में आपने जो है वो इन्फॉर्मेशन ट्रांसफ़र करनी होगी, लेकिन डायरेक्ट स्पीच में आप जो इन्फॉर्मेशन होगी उसको बिल्कुल भी चेंज नहीं करेंगे और एग्जैक्ट सिमिलर वर्ड जो हैं वो आप ट्रांसफर करेंगे, लेकिन इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच में थर्ड से चेंजिंग होगी, जिसकी वजह से हम उसे इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच कहते हैं। थर्ड पॉइंट इज इन इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच द सिंपल प्रेजेंट टेंस यूजली चेंज इनटू पास्ट सिंपल। सो इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच में अगर डायरेक्ट स्पीच में सिंपल प्रेजेंट टेंस यूज हुआ है तो इनडायरेक्ट बनाते हुए हम सिंपल प्रेजेंट टेंस को चेंज कर देंगे पास्ट सिंपल टेंस में। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, देयर आर वेव्स ऑन द बीच अनाउंस्ड मैक्स। सो ये सेंटेंस जो है वो डायरेक्ट स्पीच है, बिकॉज इसमें हमने स्पीच मार्क ऐड किए हैं और एग्जैक्टली वही इंफॉर्मेशन यूज की है जो कि मैक्स ने अनाउंस की है। सो दिस इज अ डायरेक्ट स्पीच। जब हम इसे इनडायरेक्ट बनाएंगे, सो वी राइट इट हेयर लाइक दिस, मैक्स अनाउंस्ड दैट देयर वर वेव्स ऑन द बीच। सो सिंपल प्रेजेंट टेंस को हमने पास्ट सिंपल टेंस में चेंज करना है और स्पीच मार्क को हटाने के लिए हम यूज करेंगे डेट। नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज इन इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच द प्रेजेंट कंटिन्यूअस टेंस यूजुअली चेंज टू द पास्ट कंटिन्यूअस टेंस। सो अगर डायरेक्ट स्पीच में प्रेजेंट कंटिन्यूअस टेंस का यूज हुआ है तो हम इनडायरेक्ट बनाते हुए पास्ट कंटिन्यूअस टेंस का यूज करेंगे। सो सिंपल इज कि अगर डायरेक्ट स्पीच प्रेजेंट सिंपल टेंस में है तो इसको इनडायरेक्ट बनाते हुए हम सिंपल पास्ट का यूज करेंगे, और अगर डायरेक्ट स्पीच जो है वो प्रेजेंट कंटिन्यूअस में है सो इनडायरेक्ट बनाते हुए हम पास्ट कंटिन्यूअस टेंस में चेंज करेंगे। लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, लियो इज स्विमिंग एक्सप्लेन्ड आयशा। सो आयशा एक्सप्लेन्ड दैट लियो वॉज स्विमिंग। डायरेक्ट स्पीच में प्रेजेंट कंटिन्यूअस टेंस का यूज हुआ है और जब हमने इनडायरेक्ट बनाया है तो यहाँ पे हमने पास्ट कंटिन्यूअस का यूज किया है, और स्पीच मार्क को रिमूव करने के लिए हम डेट का यूज करते हैं। एक्सरसाइज ए, चेंज द डायरेक्ट स्पीच टू द इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच। फर्स्ट सेंटेंस इज माई फेवरेट स्पोर्ट इज क्रिकेट अनाउंस्ड Jasmine. So the indirect sentence is Jasmine announced that her favorite sport was cricket. Second sentence is it's too late to watch television, Wasif said mom. So the indirect sentence is Mom told Wasif that it was too late to watch television. Exercise B, change the indirect speech to direct speech. Sentence number 1 is Lara said she was reading her school book. So the direct sentence is Lara said, I am reading my school book. Second sentence is Harry whispered that he was reading. So the direct sentence is Harry whispered, I am reading. Now move to the next page. Spellings, verbs and pattern. सो यहाँ पे जो है वो कुछ वर्ड्स यूज़ किए जाते हैं और कुछ लेटर्स ऐड करने से उनके जो है वो स्पेलिंग चेंज होते हैं, और उसके साथ जो है वो हम पैटर्न बनाते हैं। लाइक मैनी वर्ड्स टेक एस एंड ing फॉर प्रेजेंट एंड ed फॉर द पास्ट। सो बहुत से ऐसे वर्ड्स होते हैं जिसमें जो है वो हम क्या करते हैं, एस या ing यूज़ करके प्रेजेंट फॉर्म ऑफ वर्ड बनाते हैं और ed यूज़ करके पास्ट फॉर्म ऑफ वर्ड बनाते हैं। सो इस पैटर्न को फॉलो करके हम बहुत सारे वर्ड्स जो होते हैं उन वर्ड्स का जो है वो प्रेजेंट फॉर्म एंड पास्ट फॉर्म बनाते हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल, जंप। सो जंप इज सिंपली अ वर्ब and when we have to make a present form of it, so we add s and ing like jumps, jumping, and when we have to make past form, so we add ed like jumped. But if the ending is different, the rule change. So if the ending of any word is different, so the rule change. Learning tip, remember if the verb end in a hissing and buzzing sound, it need es in the present, like the bee buzzes, the snake hisses. So if the word end with those sounds, we add es. Exercise A, here is what happens if the words end with an e. So if the word end with the letter e and that word is verb, so here the verb is dance. So when we have to change it in a present form, we write dances and dancing, and when we change it into past, so we used ed and danced. Now write a similar chart for smile and glance. So the present form of smile is smiles and smiling, and the past form of verb is smiled. glass, glasses, glassing, and then glassed. Exercise B. Here is what happen if the verb has a consonant followed by y. So अगर किसी verb का जो है last letter y है, so क्या होगा कि हम y को जो है वो remove करके I use करेंगे. Like here, present form of verb बनाते हुए कि y को remove करके I use करेंगे. Like fries, frying, and past भी बनाते हुए fried. What has happened to y? So y के साथ क्या हुआ? y की जगह हमने I यूज किया. Part C. When the verb has short vowel, consonant doubles. So किसी भी verb में अगर short vowel sound है या फिर short vowel है और उसके बाद consonant है, so वो जो last consonant होगा वो double हो जाएगा. Like hug, hugs, hugging and hugged. So यहाँ पे G जो था वो last पे consonant था, तो हमने प्रेजेंट फॉर्म ऑफ वर्ब बनाते हुए और पास्ट फॉर्म ऑफ वर्ब बनाते हुए हमने जी को डबल कर दिया. मेक अ लिस्ट ऑफ मोर वर्ब लाइक दिस. सो हियर इज द लिस्ट. सो द ग्रामर पोर्शन ऑफ दिस चैप्टर इज कंप्लीटेड. इन नेक्स्ट वीडियो वी विल कवर राइटिंग वर्कशॉप ऑफ दिस चैप्टर. इफ यू लाइक दिस वीडियो, लाइक इट, शेयर इट एंड सब्सक्राइब टू माई चैनल. तब तक के लिए अल्लाह हाफिज.